There are many ways to beat Fallout 3. Numerous methods of madness. Sometimes you want to beat the game with a specific weapon. Sometimes it's another limitation for added challenge. But what if you try to restrict your dialogue instead? Yo dudettes, this is Ketchu. Here to answer the question no one asked. Can you beat Fallout 3? I always begin the most negative dialogue options first. A long time ago, sometime last Tuesday, I, Cruella, was born and greeted by my very own Liam Neeson.
Are you a boy or a girl?
Everyone in the room knew that I was destined to be a perfect 10 by modern standards. Before the fun of childbirth had even wrapped up, I already got my first kill. Reaching toddler years, Liam asked me to come over, and from a very young age, I already had a problem with doing anything I was told. So, we just stood there for 2 hours, probably each pondering how obstinate the other party was. After that Mexican stroganoff of stubborn stupidity, I felt special. I decided to keep my strength low on purpose. If a situation arose where I'm going to end someone with melee, it'd be akin to expiring from Chinese water torture or a billion paper cuts. Pretty messed up. I maxed out endurance at 9, so I could eat a bullet if needed. Bumped intelligence up to 9 to level up quickly. 9 in agility to get action points. I was planning on avoiding aiming in this game, but that didn't work out the way I imagined. Luck was supposed to be 9 too, but this is what happens when I start playing first thing in the morning. I dumped the rest of the points into charisma, could have put them into strength to up my carry weight, but I already said all that about not investing in it earlier. I spun out of frustration at my birthday party, wasn't having fun, and I made sure with my tantrum that nobody else did either. Even trashed the cake. Coincidentally, that was the last time I got a birthday party. Downstairs, Dad handed me a BB gun, and I was well underway dishing out the most negative responses left and right. And this was the first time I got a reaction that was taken seriously. I didn't want a stupid BB gun for my birthday.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Maybe you haven't grown up as much as I thought. If you don't want it, I'm sure I can find someone who does.
Just because I don't like it, doesn't mean I want someone else to have it. Poor Jonas had a sudden concussion after a little stair mishap. I pest controlled the roads, pumped a few pellets into Liam's skull and knees for giving me lip, and a picture was taken to commemorate the fun event. Then it was time for the so-called greatest of all time test. Tried to pull a fast one on my Liam, but he wasn't buying it, so I snagged his bobblehead instead. On my way to class, I watched Amari getting bullied, coerced the teacher to do the test for me, tagging explosives, repair, and small guns, and then ditch class. Amanda woke me up blabbering about my Liam Neeson escaping its pen. I responded calmly by giving her the back of my hand with some 10mm. That's what you get for waking me up for no reason. As a fun, clever little follow-up, I decided to clean house in the vault, including Butts, his lazy haircut, and his numbskull of a mom.
Where's security when you need them?
The escape from the vault felt pretty hectic at first, but without a time limit, I took a moment to grab some souvenirs and went on the hunt for a gift shop. Amanda was trying to tell me something after I unsubscribed her father from live, but her words got lost in the symphony of screams as I was intimately introducing my baseball bat to her. Before leaving, I turned around for one last swing, just to give Amanda another rousing round of battering. For the first time, I felt like I was at home. Just before the exit, my funny friend showed up to bother me one last time. I bid her farewells right off the bat. She just ain't learning her lesson. Blinded by the brilliance of natural light, armed with increased skills, I leveled up into a Black Widow, out into the real game. I made a straight line for Megaton, only to get assaulted by multiple annoying pop-ups. As a last irritation, the Overseer had handed me a Pip-Boy with malware, I think. It had been ages since I last played this game, and I ended up getting a little lost. After losing some pounds to wild dogs and rats, who had an affinity for butts, I finally stumbled upon my oasis in the desert. I got a little distracted, ending up at Big Town, and gave the guard greeting me the most aggressive answers I could muster, but he still let me in. I fast traveled back to Megaton to try and pull the same stunt with Moira. My pockets were still full of stuff from my recently departed friends, after all. straight out of the gate, Lucas from the Sims franchise tried to harass me. Talking to him would end up in a fight. Don't ask me how I know this. While it didn't necessarily mean the game was over, it was better to steer clear of him for now. Don't worry though, he'll get what's coming to him eventually. As I checked if Moira's shop was still open, some old coot started berating me.
I can see you eyeing it.
I gave him a new perspective, right through the head, to let the demons out. That'll quiet down the voices. Blah blah blah. After lurking outside Moira's store like a psycho for 10 hours, I finally got to test my theory. Surprisingly, she was cool with my maximum hostility, and I learned that she's used to people giving her crap. No problem getting work from her, and the trade happened happily as ever. Next, I attempted to assassinate Moriarty multiple times, with no success. But after figuring out the lockpick way to progress the plot for free, I charmed Mr. Burks, broke my leg on the way out, and nearly let a yaoi bear do the world a favor. And then I blew up Megaton. I want you to know that this was all because of Moira. All she had to do was to give me a job. Instead, she made me stand in a pool of piss, navigate a freaking minefield, while her body tried to inject me with lead. I did return the favor. Then I became a living target for the raiders. And she made me break my bones for her own amusement, and there I thought I was evil. Another amusing tale was when I chased away a ghoul who was pulling a piper at the gate of the evil wizard's tower.
Where is he going?
Unlike Fallout 4, in this wasteland, it felt like I was constantly under attack, which got annoying real quick, especially since those creatures weren't worth their weight in XP. Before the fireworks, I tried recruiting Jericho just to make him stand next to the bomb before the greatest highlight of his life, but alas, I was still too naive in his eyes.
It's amazing how far away Megaton is from Tenpenny Tower, yet they were still petty enough to blow up the place, just because it's an eyesore. I think I'm going to fit in just fine.
To celebrate my newfound friendship with the folks of the evil tower, I offered to play pest control for the head guard and take care of their ghoul problem. After all, the one that got away was quite big, just outside of their nest. I played, how many limbs can I hit before it dies? Usually 3. One of the thinking ghouls didn't even know what hit him until he was down among the countless. To my surprise, Roy Phillips still hadn't recovered from my earlier skirmish with him. You should be concerned. I was in a perfect position to silently end them both, and I chose to use a grenade. My goal was to land it between them, but instead it bounced and landed near where his nuts would be. I'm not at all that clear on cool anatomy. I still felt a little sorry. The lady beef jerky had the honor of being my first Chinese pistol takeout ever. I got paid handsomely for this job, even after I told the guy I would have done it for free. On my way to Galaxy News Radio, I pushed a shopping cart into the river to set it free. That's what you do when you love something. There was a scuffle between some raiders and super mutants. I, of course, nosed into their fight. A scavenger took my side, and I was almost spooked out of my pants when her tamed yaoi bear came running towards me, with that 1000 yummies there.
Wow!
Inside Fartgut Festation, I started to get really sick of ghouls. Kind of how they look, but on the inside. Before leaving the metro, I tried delicately placing a bullet on an extinguisher to see what would happen.
Ow.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting either. Sentinel Lion stretched her neck and told me to go die in a ditch somewhere after I gave her a good deal of verbal vomit. I let her squad do the heavy lifting for me, on my way to meet the man who knows where my Liam Neeson has gone. Before I could enter the Galaxy News radio station, super mutant version of your mom arrived on the scene. Unless I was somewhere where she could bat to, she kept hiding behind the corner like a dumb idiot stupid head. I felt discriminated against. Inside NGR, I had a chat with Tree Dog. Off the record, he's a really chill dude. I kept choosing the most Asholian answers, and he just kept telling me to calm down over and over. Really chill dude. I'd like him if I wasn't trying to be the most unpleasant person alive. In short, you can't fail the main quest here by just being a prick. Tree Dog wasn't just a racist. He wasn't just incredibly racist, he was impressively racist and asked me to bring good old localized genocide on the green-skinned migrants that were camping in the Museum of Freedom. Maybe it's not okay to like him anymore. Once outside, more ghouls, yay, followed by more tunnels. My only problem getting anywhere in Fallout 3 is that every location is in Fallout 3, so it's a pain in the exhaust port to get anywhere.
As you wish.
Deeper inside, I realized Fallout 3 was way more difficult than I remembered. I was starving for stim packs and ammo. I raised my small guns to 90 when reaching level 6, and some repair. I've been shooting like a lot. I appreciate the action though. While expeditiously purging the Green Horde, one of the unfortunates saw my face and had the most intense heart attack in the history of ever. Later outside, I got my poo pushed back in so hard by the super muties, I accidentally used my only stealth boy when I was trying to reach for the health jabs. Back at Tree Dog, he finally told me my daddy dearest had escaped to Riverwood and thanked me for partaking in his something
Project Purity.
I can only imagine what he's implying. And I was supposed to be the evil one. On my way, every scavenger I sold my crap to kept reminding me of the awesome job I did on Megaton. Fighting through all the raiders, super mutants, and centaurs and whatnot made me feel like somebody let loose a whole zoo on me, but I was getting used to the combat.
Whoa! Nice try, jackass.
The guard posted in front of Rivet City received all of my negativity and aggression. He didn't even flinch and still let me in. Some weirdo greeted me as soon as I entered the place. I wasn't in the best headspace, so I force-fed him a bullet, but that didn't work out too well. Then, as is customary, I got a little lost in that steel casserole. Wasn't the first time, won't be the last. I had a good chat with Dr. Zimmer. He wanted me to locate his missing phone or something, but I didn't listen, too busy trying to ignore his face. Wag Preston supposedly had the information that I needed, but his door was locked tight like a superglued butthole. As a revenge, I stole all of his equipment at the clinic and tried sending one of his patients to the settlement in the skies, but the tremors of his body breathing his last alerted the guards somehow. Never mind then, main quest time. Talking to Dr. Lee was a minor inconvenience. I couldn't fail anything with my verbal violence. The game was still on. Dr. Lee tasked me to clear out the orcs in Jefferson Memorial, and so I was once again helping an organized group of racial supremacists with Project Purity. Are they racists or speciesists? Jefferson Memorial was a breeze in the park. I wiped the green stain off the face of the earth, spread my skill points to even out some numbers for no adequately explored reason, and used Harden. I found Dad's mixtape inside a glass frisbee and felt embarrassed when listening to it. Before setting my shifty eyes towards my next destination, I returned a lost shopping cart back to its family and had a scuffle with a nearby raider who Houdini'd herself somewhere never to be seen again.
Okay then.
After that, some kid came yelling nonsense, just to figure out that I don't care. Then I did the whole Commonwealth service and put a bullet between Grandma Sparkle's eyebrows from the other side. Then I assumed her position for a while. After all, a great man once told us that Grandma Sparkles is simply an idea. I felt spiritually elevated. Some rodents got in my way, and after subtracting them from the stupid census, I spectated a loose head going about its day. At Smith Casey's garage, everything went wrong. I got assaulted. A car got set off by the many machines attempting to probe me, trying to fight back with my crappy tools, and Watts being as unhelpful as ever, showing me the sky as moral support. Keep your chin up and all that.
You know what they say, an apple a day, run away!
I escaped inside the garage with some broken feelers. From there, getting into the Tranquility Lane was a trivial pursuit at best. Inside the neural funhouse, I listened to one of the old-timers, and in the wise words of Gary the Snail, meow.
Oh boy, it's trouble time. Oh yuck!
Giving Pretty Brown Nose all the negative answers got me nowhere, so I agreed to make little Timmy cry to get the plot gears rolling. I trust his stupid lemonade stand, that did the trick. The next task was to divorce a couple, but I lacked the charisma. Some crazy old bat handed me the clue on how to get out. I told her to freak off and took the rolling pin to the streets for a quick beat. I told Dad to take a hike, went inside the abandoned home, spent a boiling minute trying to figure out the puzzle involving a garden gnome, and the Chinese came to save the day. Dr. Poo Poo Brain wasn't having the best of days, and knowing that he will be stuck in this boring neighborhood all alone for all eternity allowed me to leave with a smile. After reuniting with my Liam Neeson, I leveled up my speech, because evil people are good manipulators.
You're a funny guy, Liam. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last. He just zoomed away.
I managed to travel back and forth between Smith's shack and Rivet City twice before my old man made it there.
You suck, Dad. At least this time, instead of getting lost, I could just follow him.
While Pops was chatting away with his colleagues, I kept myself busy by throwing stuff on the floor and playing with Leatherface.
Peekaboo!
While I was absent-mindedly looking at the door,
Yes, I can see you eyeing it.
Some sorry sod from the church decided to grate my nerves, so I instigated him into a surprise game of hot potato. Jefferson Memorial 2, stupid Boogaloo. Papa and his cackle of idiots sent me inside to purify the rest of the remaining greenskins.
I made 2 shopping carts levitate, never mind.
With homicide on my mind, I removed the whole walk from the squatter's census, handing out flash passes to the gates of heck.
I'm going to disarm you.
After escorting the raving race puris into the glass saucer, my old man sent me back downstairs to turn on some thingamabob. As a certified basement dweller, I wasn't too upset by this, but when he told me to skip back upstairs just to get some fuses from him, because he just couldn't hand me those electric potatoes earlier, that got my panties in a bunch. Back at ground level, he asked me about Megaton. I told him it was complicated, and he threatened me with an impending lecture. After my chores were done, I was tossing around in the sewers when the Enclave arrived.
Ominous!
While watching them land on the scene, I discovered that you can shoot at the incoming troops from there. While they were making friends with the geeks, I was afraid of the looming lecture my papa had prepared for me. Luckily these morons showed up, and Pops is now purifying things in the sky, so now I don't have to listen to it. Fortune in fortune, as they say. Escaping through the sewers with the nerds, I tried pushing Gozer into the firing line, but my efforts bore only giggles. Dr. Lee later stopped me. Gozer needed medical attention because of heart problems. I convinced her to leave him behind, and then shot him anyway. She wasn't too happy with that, but got over him quickly.
We'll be right.
The Enclave were surprisingly good shots, almost like trained soldiers. They hit me with a lot of pain. At the Citadel, Dr. Lee did a Piper and got us into the Brotherhood of Steel camp,
I know you're in there. I know you can hear me. You open this goddamn door right now.
where I handed them up for adoption.
This is James's daughter, I presume? I can see the resemblance.
What?
For my next trick, I tried to get myself shot by presenting my good side in the practice range. They should have taken that chance. I verbally waterboarded Scribe Rotbrain, and it had him sweating frustration.
I find it hard to believe your father raised such a child. I feel pity for whatever it is you've gone through that has made you so bitter.
He didn't like me one bit.
The next part demands a perk I don't yet have, or so I assumed. To fix that, I intimidated the folks at Big Town. They were too depressed to care. I defused a time bomb, and the game berated me for that for no reason. The folks in the town gave me 2 clues on how to get a slice of that sweet experience pie. From there, I set sail towards Paradise Falls.
No. Frick!
After acquiring the Mesmetron, I tried to capture civilians in Rivet City. That didn't work and accidentally blew up some bouncer's head. I had no idea how that piece of crap worked. I tried to get Flag, who was a designated quest target, but he was either never alone or connected to some sort of hive mind.
She appears to be floating.
At Tenpenny Tower, I couldn't find the VIP. Birch and Tenpenny didn't comply either. I thought it'd be fun to release the captured Big Towners at Germantown Police HQ, just to turn them into slaves. After powering off the life support of the resident super muties, I released Red and scrambled her brain. Turns out, she was one of the VIPs.
How did this
I
happen?
went so far just to get 1 slave.
Now there was no call for that.
Terrorizing Big Town, I tried to turn the residents into slaves to improve their mentalities, but it turned out I was only handed 1 color at a time. Upon getting paid for my first slave, I decided it wasn't worth my dime to keep going.
75 XP. I spent almost whole day doing this. Oh.
In my frustration, I yoinked a bubblehead, traveled back to Super Duper Megamart, and broke the family I helped create. Setting course to Little Lamplight from Smith's garage, that one Mr. Gutsy was still lying in ambush for me. I ran away again. On my way, I crippled a yaoi bear's face, managed to dodge another territorial teddy, and reach where I didn't want to be. Talking to the fire extinguisher with attitude, there was no way for me to ruin the conversation, and I nailed the speech check, which saved me a lot of trouble.
Yes!
I ignored all the kids, because I knew better than to flap my gums, and I started to quick save, quick load in rapid succession to clip through the wall between me and Murder Pass. It took me quite some time to get through, resulting in 1 failed teleport that sent me to a bar or something. In the end, I had to ask the infants for help, and luckily, I couldn't mess that conversation up in any way. The only thing that took damage was my pride. Inside, lots and lots of super cuties. I did a sick jump shot, had relatively tough time, and had to use whatever I had on my hands to get through, like running away while dropping mines like turds, because I was always low on ammo and stim packs. But once I got past the cavern part, things got a little easier.
What?
Upon leveling up, I increased sneak, and that helped out a lot.
Let me tell you what I'm doing here in this vault. Finishing this fight.
Within the vault, peak shooting was a reliable way to advance. Super muties can't grasp the concept of windows. I found that amusing. Meeting Fox, I gave him all the aggressive answers, but turns out he has a thick skin, and he is the best boy. To set him free, I needed to activate the fire alarm, which would release all the other inmates. Fox warned me that they could potentially be quite uppity. I delicately laid down some mines before touching the kill switch and liberating the poor souls. The centaur in the room didn't step on my Turkish peppers I left for him as a snack, and was instead trying to give the ceiling an octopus kiss. Keep aiming high, kid. Fox bulldozed the way to the Geck, retrieved it for me, and all this at the low cost of doing nothing. On my way out, I fell into the loving arms of the Enclave.
Oh, I forgot about this. I tried to back off.
Waking up to Cullen ass-face trying to pry information from me, I kept telling him to take a long walk on a short pier, but he wouldn't take no for an answer, until Big Brother told him to leave me alone. With my gear recovered, I faced a dilemma. Which is more evil, manipulating a person or just being a jerk? Conclusion? Pick the worst option possible and challenge the officer into a mortal combat, and his friends.
Whoa.
Upon leveling up, I picked Scrounger to help with my ammo problems, but as a cruel twist of plot, it was useless for the end game. The voice within the walls pacified the Enclave for a while, then Major Colin Buttwipe decided to turn his men into a suicide squad. Such inconvenience is punishable by the death penalty. Doped off my boots, I kept handing out unlicensed skull surgeries with my gun on my way to Wall E Girl. The scientist zooming around couldn't escape from the one-way trip to unsolicited trepidation either. I think they needed the anesthesia more than me, but I was too busy huffing my own supply to care about semantics. I'm not racist like the people I worked with, but according to Space Marine philosophy I follow whenever convenient, muties shouldn't exist. I'll do whatever I have to if it means getting rid of mutants, as long as the effort is comparable to whining on Xitter. I convinced the computer to execute itself by deleting System 32. Got the unalive mutants vial and admired the destruction unfolding in front of me, when Big Bro Eden started taking the Enclave to its season finale. To my surprise, Fox was running outside gunning down my opposition. I knew better than to talk to him, so I speed-addled out of there.
No. I don't want to speak to Fox. He's the best boy. Yes. Sorry, Fox. This is the best for you.
Inside the Citadel, Lyons offered me a position as an honorary member of her pride. I told her she mistook me for someone who cares about her stupid gaggle of idiots. And that's why, folks, I don't get to wear a power armor.
When we're done with this, everyone can have a nice cold glass of water on me.
A whole glass of water? I regret my decision now. I still can't move. I think they know I would have jumped on that platform the moment it started moving. And I've gotten mangled between the beams, I'm sure. I can move now. Maybe I can still make it. Jump, you piece of crap. I couldn't make it. Wow, you guys have a crane? No, don't get overexcited, you two.
From there, I followed Liberty Prime to the end game, letting the Brotherhood do the heavy lifting for me.
Or are you avoiding work as well? Why does this guy have 3 plasma rifles? I think he just never reloads his gun, instead switches to a new one when the magazine is empty.
Jefferson Memorial 3, The Reckoning. I booked all the remaining Enclave soldiers on a first-class flight straight to the Devil's mailbox and met Sir Buttmunch at the good old glass frisbee. I wanted to try talking my way through him, but as a Finnish content creator, it is difficult to relate to a fervent American patriot. I had to give it a try. Hey there, fellow American. I'm looking to consume a hamburger, several body parts wide, and a few inches of Coca-Cola, while blasting country music. Yeehaw! Ah, the American dream. St. Patrick's Day is coming too. Better bring some apple pie to a baseball game. I can already taste the liberty. That means we get to exercise our right to bear arms. You'd make Uncle Sam proud. Now get out there, you son of a gun. God bless America.
Wow, I can't believe that worked.
While Lions was busy with the intercom, I sneakily slipped in the toxins to the purifier and told Lions to get in the pod, but then refused to tell her the code as many times as I could. After finally handing her the code, she activated the purifier and I beat Fallout 3 while being an absolute butt munch.
Oh no. What are you doing, stepsister?
And that's it for this time, folks. Do the engagement things to help me out. Tell me in the comments what I could have done better, or if you have another challenge or game for me to play. Thanks for watching, see you next time, take care now, bye bye then.